What's going on YouTube? You can't drive 5 minutes down any road without seeing several Toyota Corollas and Honda Civics as well. That's because these two rivals are some of the best-selling cars on the market, with the Corolla surpassing 50 million sales globally. It's clear these two are highly competitive rivals, but which is the best affordable compact sedan for you? That's what we're about to find out. So to get things established here, let's quickly talk about how the pricing stacks up for these affordable sedans. Starting with the Civic, we have what is now the new base trim level for 2023, the Civic Sport. Honda never has any option packages, so after destination, the total price is $26,145. Keeping things equivalent, we have the Sport Design trim level of the Corolla, the new Hybrid SE. We will evaluate the major powertrain differences later in the review, but for now, just know that the Corolla carries a very similar price tag of $26,335 all in. That places our price difference at just under $200. So with that highly competitive price settled, let's go ahead and see who gives you the most for your hard-earned money. So when you walk up to these two, you're going to notice completely different designs. Honda has gone for the grown-up, sophisticated look with a simple grille and wide lower fascia. It looks particularly good with this blacked-out paint scheme, but our Corolla has the opposite look. It also has a black grille, but the white paint contrasts nicely, and it overall has a much more aggressive look. Comment down below which one you prefer, but we will keep the scoring to just the objective items. Outside of the grilles, both have extravagant lighting for their prices. They both feature full LED headlights with LED daytime running lights plus LED turn signals. Neither have fog lamps, but it is worth noting that the Corolla has nicer projector-style LED headlights as opposed to the reflector LEDs on the Civic. Continuing to the sides, the Civic is about 2 inches longer than the Corolla in overall length, and both models offer sporty hatchback versions for those wanting more style and practicality. The side designs are punctuated by stylish 18-inch alloys in both the Civic and Corolla, with the Corolla having a new dark gray finish for 2023, and the Civic having a fully gloss black finish. And as far as the back, the same design themes from the front repeat, so the Civic rocks a more subdued look, while the Corolla has a bit more flair and an aggressive lower diffuser. But as far as features, both have lip spoilers up top, chrome-tipped exhaust outlets on the right side, and partially LED taillights. Now checking out the mirrors, unfortunately both the Civic and Corolla are missing blind spot monitoring and heating at this price point. That being said, both models do come standard with their brand's most advanced active safety features no matter which trim you choose. Included within those suites are adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and auto high beam headlights. And the last thing I want to mention are the warranties, which are very similar. Both come with a 3-year 36,000 mile basic warranty, 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty, and new for 2023, Honda is offering 3 years and 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. That does best Toyota's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. But anyway, that concludes the outside. So now let's head inside the cabins before we take them out on the road. So approaching both models, you will find smart entry systems and nice key fobs. You will notice that the Civic's key has remote start integrated on the fob, whereas Toyota offers that service in a subscription after the trial period has ended. Now once we open up the doors, you'll find blacked out and sporty interiors that look more expensive than you'd probably expect. Starting by talking about the seats themselves, both have cloth seating with manual adjustment in these more affordable trim levels. Leather and power adjustment are available on the upper trims if you prefer that. Once inside the cabins, we can check out the broad category of material quality. By and large, they are similar, with soft-touch upper dashboards and stitching details. Both the lower areas are going to be hard touch, as you would expect, but the Civic has an overall solidity to it that is missing from the Corolla, which has a more hollow feel. In addition, the vent detailing is quite upscale, so it'll walk away with the materials point. Both have push-button start, and after startup, you'll notice a big difference. The Civic has a premium half-digital 7-inch gauge cluster with customizability. Meanwhile, the Corolla has a more basic 4.2-inch multi-function display until you get to the higher trim levels. Coming back to the steering wheels, both have an attractive design that are leather-wrapped on these sport grades. But moving on to the important aspect of interior storage, we have a big Honda advantage. The Corolla can barely fit our coupons in the center console. Meanwhile, the Civic has one of the largest consoles in the segment. In addition, the front storage bin is larger in the Honda, making it the more practical choice. The Corolla fights back with a wireless phone charging pad, which is something the Civic reserves for just the touring model. Taking a look at these shifters next, both are sticking with traditional leather-wrapped ones. And once in reverse, both have standard backup cameras. Only the Civic has active trajectory and multiple angle views though. Behind the shifter are electronic parking brakes and brake hold systems. For the climate controls, we have a single zone automatic setup on both. Dual zone options are available on higher end versions of each model. Moving up from there, we have our audio systems. So let's go ahead and take a sample. As you might expect out of affordable compact sedans, neither audio system will blow you away, but they are acceptable for the segment, plus branded audio systems are available on higher trim levels. Now everyone wants high-tech displays in their cars no matter what the price is, and the refreshed Corolla will pull ahead of the Civic in this area. The display itself is going to be an inch larger, at 8 inches compared to 7 inches in the Civic. Additionally, Toyota throws in an integrated navigation system, plus it comes with standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, whereas the Civic makes you get the touring model for those features. Wrapping up the front of the cabins, both have manual mirrors and do not have moonroofs at this price point. Now heading around to the rear, let's see how much space both throw in for your family and friends. Hondas are hard to beat in this area typically, and the Civic is no different. It has a pretty significant 7% legroom advantage over the Corolla, but their headrooms are identical. As far as the features back here, the Corolla makes a big comeback. While the Civic is basically just seats, the Corolla now offers 2 charging USB ports and a fold-down armrest with cup holders. Now you're probably also wondering how much stuff can you bring along? Well, once you open up the trunks, the Civic once again is going to boast an advantage over the Corolla in terms of space. The Civic comes in 12% larger at 14.8 cubic feet as a maximum compared to the Corolla's 13.1 cubic foot trunk. Alright, we're done with the interiors now, so let's take them out for a drive and see how they compare out on the road. So hitting the streets with these two bestsellers, you're going to see big differences in this area. Under the hood, we have 2 distinct power plants and missions. The Corolla is the hybrid model, which we will discuss more in the fuel economy section, but that does mean that it has an updated 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine, lithium-ion battery pack, and an electric motor. All told, it produces 134 horsepower and 156 pound-feet of torque, which is up 25% over the previous model year. The Civic, on the other hand, doesn't even offer a hybrid powertrain, at least yet. So the Civic Sport is rocking a normal 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, making 158 horsepower and 138 pound-feet of torque. That means the Civic has more horsepower, but the Corolla has quite a bit more torque. And there is 60 with this all-new Civic Sport. So with the Sport trim, the big difference between the Touring trim level that we reviewed a short time ago is the fact you have a different engine on board. So just like with the outgoing Civic, there's 2 different engine options that you can pick between. The LX and the Sport are going to have a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. We have 158 horsepower and 138 pound-feet of torque. Alright, and there are 60 miles per hour in the Corolla Hybrid. So I'm excited to get into this section because this is one of the more substantial areas of updates. We do have an upgraded hybrid system on board. It's the next generation. I believe they said it was the 5th generation of the hybrid system. And it does have 24% more horsepower than last year. So we're looking at a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine plus your electric powertrain. That's going to make a total system of 134 horsepower.
156 pound-feet of torque, too.
156 pound-feet of torque. One of the things just taking off there, because this is our very first impressions of this model, was the electric torque.
Yeah.
It really felt nice getting right off the line there when I was taking off. I can tell a difference, I believe, from that last hybrid that we drove. I don't know about you, Mason, but it did feel more spunky.
It felt fine. You know, the Corolla is obviously not going to, like, blow you away when it comes to speed. That's clearly not its mission. But I really do strongly feel like this Corolla, especially in its hybrid configuration, has enough pep in its step for the average person. And especially with the electric torque kicking in, it feels spunkier than the 134 horsepower would suggest, for sure.
As you can see from that clip, neither of them are quick by any stretch of the imagination. The Civic does feel slightly faster to 60, but the Corolla having an electric motor makes the initial takeoff feel spunkier. Nevertheless, transmission-wise, they are rocking a CVT and eCVT, which in practice both feel very similar to each other. Yeah, so, I mean, nothing in this category is gonna, like, really wow you. But this is definitely more than adequate getting around town, and one of the things that I do notice with this is the tuning with the engine, throttle response, and the continuously variable transmission that this comes with. Between those three, it is definitely tuned to be nice and responsive as soon as you get off the line, so it feels more powerful than it is for that initial launch off. I also want to talk about the transmission situation. So, with the hybrid model, you'll continue to have an eCVT transmission. Now, as far as other driving characteristics, the Honda will benefit greatly from its sportier feel. The Civic has always had a nice chassis balance, quick steering, and solid feel behind the wheel, which is a big advantage over the number-feeling Corolla. So before we get that sound reading, let's talk about one of the things that has not changed with this new generation, and that is how fun this Civic is to drive. This is a vehicle that is always set right at the top of the class, and that continues for this new generation, especially with the Sport trim. They've just done an excellent job. I mean, it's just so tight and so well balanced. You have very little body roll at all. Now, out on the highway, sound insulation is important as well. This category is not exactly known for having quiet cabins, but if you care about this, the Corolla will definitely have an advantage here.
And let's get that sound level reading. Well, it is reading 64.2. I don't know, that seems a little bit high.
Yeah, it's windy outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we commented, it definitely does sound a bit louder than what you get in the touring trim level. Because
we slow down to 55 here.
Yeah, we're kind of coasting down the mountain here. I'll try to shave off a little speed.
58.8 decibels is going to be our sound level reading.
Now it's time to highlight a huge difference between these two vehicles. The Civic, as previously mentioned, doesn't even offer a hybrid, which means the Corolla excels in terms of fuel economy. It comes in 14 miles per gallon better than the Civic at a fantastic 47 mpg combined. It's also worth noting that the Corolla offers all-wheel drive for a little more than $1,000 additional. That's something that isn't offered on the Civic at this time. And that's it for this hot seller comparison. Combined, these two products have sold nearly 75 million cars globally, which is a testament to just how good they are. But which do you prefer? We hope we helped you answer that question for yourself today. And make sure to leave a comment below as to which one you would pick personally. Anyway guys, thanks for joining us for this Car Confections comparison, and be sure to subscribe for more comparisons and our signature full review videos. When you subscribe, it makes it easier for us to get access to the latest vehicles on the market for you to see. Also, give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok as well, and we hope you join us again as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.